I don't know if you saw any of my coverage of the 2025 SHOT Show, but if you did, you might have seen the video I made of me shooting the world's most concealable pistol. Well, in today's video, we're going to take a look at that pistol's slightly larger big brother and my new backup pistol, the North American Arms Sentinel 22 Magnum revolver. We're going to take a closer look at this, then take it to the range, see how it works. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, today we're going to take a look at this North American Arms Sentinel 22 Magnum pistol. I got to be straight up front with you. I really like this thing. I've been carrying this thing as a backup pistol now pretty much since I completed the testing on it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, as usual, today's words from the Bible, and this is from Mark chapter 9, verses 30 and 31, today in the NIV. They left that place and passed through Galilee. Jesus did not want anyone to know where they were because he was teaching his disciples. He said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men. They will kill him, and after 3 days he will rise." Also, I got to say a big thank you to my friends at XS Sights for sponsoring this video and being a channel sponsor in general. XS Sights are the only sights I will have on any pistol that I will carry for defense. And I told you I was carrying this one. It's very appropriate because this little pistol has got excess white dots on it. Man, so that was a absolutely got to have for me. So anyway, XS Sights are made in the USA, and they're made by people who shoot. They're not made by a bunch of people who consider it just a product. They're made by people who shoot. They are the absolute fastest sights in any light, made in Texas, and I highly, highly, highly recommend them. Like I said, I've got them on this Glock that I'm carrying right now. They're on this little backup pistol. They're on any pistol that I carry. I'm going to trust my life to. It's going to have XS Sights on it. So thanks to the folks at XS Sights for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get to talking about this here pistole. You want to? So I think what I'll do, I will take you down to the old tabletop here, and we'll take a closer look at this thing, kind of show you the ins and outs and how it operates and how it works, and a couple things I think are really, really cool about it. And then I'll take you to the range when we talk about accuracy and reliability and all that good stuff. Alrighty, well here is the North American Arms Sentinel 22 Magnum revolver. And this is a 5-shot single action revolver. Just to make sure everybody's on the same page here, we are empty, as hopefully you can see. So let's talk about the specs of this thing real quickly. It has a 1.425 inch barrel, so just under 1.5 inches. Again, it's 5 shots. It's made out of stainless steel. It is 4.9 inches long by 2.8 inches tall. And the widest point is right here on the grip, that part of the grip right there. It's about 1 inch. The cylinder is about 7/8 of an inch. This one features XS sights, the classic white dot sights, either in tritium. I'll show you, see that either in tritium or in this classic, just a bright white dot. And just try to give you what the sight picture looks like on this one. You can't see the rear sight unless it's cocked. And you can see, hopefully, I mean, man, it's hard to do this on camera, but the goal is to dot the eye. Just like, I kind of like that, maybe. Okay, hopefully you can see that. The grips are textured rubber. Again, it has a swing out cylinder with an extractor rod. See, you can see that. Extractor rods. And then this thing is really cool. It has what the North American Arms safety cylinder, which is pretty cool. And to show you that again, if you notice, see if I can get a close up for you. Here on the cylinders, in between every cylinder, there's a little notch. What that notch is for is, let me turn this thing around right. That's to allow the firing pin, which you can see is just built onto the hammer, to be rested in that notch and not rested on a chamber, so you can carry this thing fully loaded with no risk. So basically you kind of cock it about halfway, pull the trigger all the way, line it up so that you're between chambers, and then let it slowly go back down in. So to operate this thing, first if you got the cylinder release here, just cylinder latch, push it, slide it forward towards the muzzle, make sure the pistol's on half cock, and just push it out. You load it up, make sure the little flat part here, there's a little flat part on top that doesn't have any kind of knurling on it, and just push it in, and there you go. And then again, cock the hammer, start rolling between cylinders, and pull easy the hammer down with the trigger pulled, and you'll notice, you'll be able to see the brass in both these little notches here, and you'll know that it's between cylinders. A little bit of knurling here on the trigger, very, very, very slight. It's like just really a Derringer style trigger, and a little knurling here on the hammer. So there you go. That's it. Again, the excess sights with the white tritium. This was a tritium version. You can get it with or without tritium. And then the you can see that just the express shallow groove rear sight. What else is also cool is mine came with this nice steel lockbox with it. So that's pretty much the specs on this thing. Let's talk about a couple of do's and don'ts, and then we'll get to the range footage. Okay, so before we get to the actual range part, a couple things you need to know about this pistol, and probably most rimfire pistols, is they say do not dry fire this pistol. And the reason is because on a center fire pistol, the firing pin is going in the center of the chamber, right? But it's because these are rimmed bullets, rimmed cartridges, so the rim of the cartridge extends a little bit beyond the chamber, which is what keeps it from passing through. And so the firing pin hits on the very rim, so it can damage both the firing pin and the cylinder because it keeps banging in there. Second thing you need to know is that this is a 22 Magnum pistol designed for 22 WMR ammo, and they say do not fire 22 long rifle or 22 short ammo. Even though they'll fit in there, there's reasons they say not to fire those in there. Most 22 Magnum revolvers are that way. They have interchangeable cylinders. I don't know if they have a 22 interchangeable cylinder for this one yet. Some of theirs they do. They can have another cylinder for. And then third, like many pistols and many firearms, this thing is kind of ammo dependent, and there's a couple things they really, really say not to do. And this is in the owner's manual, which I didn't read. We'll talk about that as we go into the first time I went to the range. But they say don't use specifically rifle ammo that's over 1,875 feet per second. And specifically they say don't use varmint ammo like this that I tried the first time, or VMAX ammo like this I tried the first time. And they say to use U.S. made ammo only. So like I bought this a Gila, I think it's a Gila, yeah, ammo, because that's what they had at my local store. And I had some issues with it. So what happens is that higher pressure rifle, higher pressure ammo can cause the case to swell, maybe even blow back out of the cylinder just a little bit, and it's going to give you problems with the cylinder rotating properly, which is going to interfere with the action of this pistol. And that's exactly what I experienced, as you'll see in just a minute on the range. One more thing is a caveat, and I think this is worth mentioning. They say especially don't use PMC or Arms Corps Precision in any North American Arms revolver. It has resulted in out-of-battery discharges with an exclamation point. That's in the manual. I don't know exactly what that means. Out of battery would seem like it means that it had a discharge when the round wasn't under the firing pin, it wasn't in battery. I don't know. But either way, they say not to do that, so I wouldn't do it. So they do have some recommendations. At least it's not in the manual, but I reached out after I was having some issues on the range with them and said, hey, look, this thing's like the cylinder's locking up. I've had several issues. And they said, well, they gave me some ammo recommendations. And one of the things they recommended was Critical Defense, Hornady Critical Defense. The other one was Spear Gold Dot Personal Protection Short Barrel. And I think I'd also tried this Federal Small Game, which I had hit or miss. Honestly, I had hit or miss performance with this. Some of them did okay, some of them didn't. I had several, and that's pretty common with rim fire, but I had several times that obviously the hammer had struck the rim very well, but it didn't ignite. So, and that is a common problem with all rimfire ammunition, just failure to ignite when you hit it one time. But usually when I fired those again and they went bang. So that being said, without any further rambling, let's get down to the range footage and I'll give you just the highlights of that and go over it, and I'll try to roll in some of that footage as we go.
When Chuck Norris left for college, he looked at his dad and said, "Dad, you're the man of the house now."
First of all, I took it to a local outdoor range just to check for basic function and just initial firing. And like I said, I had the Aguila, I had the CCI Maxi-Mag varmint, the 30 grain VMAX Hornady. I got fairly decent accuracy, at least on the first couple groups, but I started having problems with the cylinder not advancing when I cocked it. Like I tried to cock it and it wouldn't move, wouldn't roll, which means that the trigger was dead, and I'd have to I literally had to pull the hammer part of the way back and really mess with it. I couldn't get it out of the open cylinder open a couple times, and it was really frustrating because I thought, man, this new pistol that they were kind enough to send me to test is jacked up. And so that's when I emailed them, and like I said, and they said, look, that's probably ammo, maybe not. If it's not, if either way, send it back. We'll take a look at it. But I said, no, I'll try some different ammo. I bought some Hornady Critical Defense, some Spear Gold Dot, short barrel, and then it worked fine. I think I had a couple of times with the Critical Defense that failures to fire when the rim has obviously been struck. But that's kind of common. I don't think I had any with the Spear Gold Dot personal protection designed for short barrel. But that being said, both the Hornady and the Spear Gold Dot personal protection functioned okay, other than a couple of things I had with the Hornady as far as not firing when the rim was hit. But as far as actually cycling and letting the chamber rotate and not the functioning of the pistol itself worked fine with them. I didn't have any functional issues with it. Then I said, okay, so we've checked the functionality. Let's check for some accuracy. I wound up with pretty good accuracy, to be honest with you. That big a group. That's pretty good. Then I did some headshots at 15 feet and all hits. One of them was kind of high, but they were all hits. So then I decided I'll try something a little different, and I'll show you this. So I started at 10 feet, took it back to 20 feet. Again, decent group. Said, okay, let's just get crazy. Took it back to 30 feet. You can see the results on that for yourself. So, and also I fired it like from the pocket at 15 feet. Draw, cock, bam, shoot one-handed, and you can see the results of that. A really good hit from 15 feet. So not too disappointed with the accuracy, honestly, on this thing, because let's face it, this is a Derringer style pistol. It's designed for just get them away quick and get out of here. This is not a hunting gun. It's not a target pistol. It is a self-defense weapon that is designed to just to last ditch. I'm carrying it as a backup pistol, actually. But 22 Magnum is pretty potent, especially for something that you can literally hide with your hand and keep in your pocket and carry it in your pocket very unobtrusively. I've been carrying this every day in my pocket. It really doesn't bother me. It doesn't get on my nerves at all. They are certainly some Derringers that have larger calibers, but not with 5 rounds. So, in my opinion, they make the most concealable pistols in the world. That's the North American Arms Sentinel 22 Magnum with the excess white dot sights on it. So I hope this video has been helpful, somewhat informative, maybe even just a little bit interesting. I really sincerely appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.